Drea Renee, what's up?
You're what's up, Freddie B. The token and the truth is what's up. Welcome, everyone. I'm Drea Renee, Lady Drea Renee. This is my lovely host. Oh, this way. Wait, this way? This way. Freddie B, we are here to bring you some juicy relationship topics. I am what you call the medicinal woman, modern and traditional. Wait for the eye roll. Oh, there it is. And Freddie B with his more traditional aspects of relationships. We got some fun topics for you today, right, Freddie B? What do we got? And the belt.
Yes, we do, man. We got these two memes that got popping. One, I think it popped because accountability. Anytime you can hit women in the accountability fields and hold their
Oh
feet to the
God,
fire,
that's how you're gonna present
and
it.
then on top of that, when a woman says it, like, oh my God, it booms. Because one, men like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And then when women start to be like, women be like, oh my God. It's like seeing a UFO.
It's not like seeing a UFO. I mean,
It is.
she brings up some interesting topics. So we have two memes that we'd like to discuss today, and then we also have a TikToker who is over 40. She went viral for saying that she's 42 and childless and proud of it. And some people had a lot of things to say about it because they feel that shouldn't be the case. And we have a lot to discuss on that. So, what should we open with first? Maybe wait, Freddie B.
And
How was your
let's
week?
start with the memes. You got that meme. You got the one that Life Jennings put out about
Oh yeah,
dating and planning, and planning a date. If he paying for it, why don't she plan? He that was his stories, right? That was he put on his story, right?
yeah. He said, "Why?" He said, "I. How do women have the nerve to say men don't take them out anymore? Why can't? Oh, men don't plan anymore. So why can't women plan if we're the ones paying for the date?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
And
so I
then
mean,
wait,
yeah,
what?
we got to, because my takes are always, they it seem like sometimes they surprise even you. So
You're not
the first one,
anymore.
do you can we throw it on screen? You have it up?
No, I don't have it up, Freddie. That's what I'm
Oh
saying.
gosh, dang it! How you be and you never had this stuff up?
Okay, just relax over there. All right, we'll get it up
Just
now.
relax, just relax.
Just
So
relax. Take a
can you
breath.
because you sent it to me, right?
I sent it to you. I did. We're pulling it
Okay.
up
Can
now.
you pull that up?
Life Jennings one. Okay.
No, the one with old girl. I mean, have both of
Oh,
them
the
ready,
girl
but
first.
yeah, I mean, either one,
All right.
whichever one you could pull up first, so we can have it up on the screen, so people, we got people hopping in, so they can see this meme, and so we can get into it, man. Talking the truth is how we do it. God, make sure you comment, like, and share.
Yes.
Comment, like, and share. Please stop playing with it. Please stop playing with it. Like like Billy B and Lola Brooks said, don't play with it. 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 Spend all day in it. Don't play
All
with it.
day in it. Okay, I
Exactly.
have it. So
Okay,
we'll.
so we're gonna put this meme up on the screen so we can have it up so people, you guys can see it, and we can get into it. We get these thoughts off and make it do what it do, man. Make it do what it do.
Okay. This is the quote, you guys. Women got a lot of damn nerve talking about men never take them nowhere, but yet never plan ish. I'm effing working to make money to take you places. Least you can do is plan it. I mean, Freddie, you go first.
I mean, go ladies first. Kick us off. Go ahead, ladies
No,
first.
no, man. No, you guys go first. Y'all trying to, everybody got an attitude with us. So why don't you go first?
That don't make no. It's ladies first. I'm trying to be a gentleman, but okay,
No,
okay,
go
okay.
ahead. You knock yourself out.
All right. So here's
What
the
you got
thing.
to say about this?
Life Jennings normally says, he says a lot of good stuff, right?
Does he?
So this right here, I'm not feeling them on. I'm I'm not feeling Life Jennings on this one.
Ring my bell. Wait,
That,
wait.
Drea,
Oh
that
my
means
God,
something
you
totally
guys.
different,
I don't
Drea.
even.
That means something totally different. Your mom ain't on here yet, so good thing your mom ain't on here. Hearing you talking about ring my bell. She's like, baby,
Wait, you're not agreeing with him on this?
No.
Okay, I think okay. Let's wait. Let me before I applaud. Let's hear what you have to say first.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be careful. Got to be careful.
Yeah, I gotta be
So you talking about,
careful.
women got in there talking about men never take them nowhere, but never plan. As I'm effing working to make the money to take you places, least you can do is plan it. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Majority of couples, both people work. You know what I mean? So I mean, it kind of depends on where you at with it. You know what I mean? If we dating, she probably working too. I mean, I'm not supporting her. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
there's that. And then if we are married, more than likely she probably has to work too. Both people have to work. You know what I mean? Based on the environment that we in. So, but
Amen.
the thing is I'm always one of, the man is the leader. You the leader, like set it all up. You pay for it, you plan it, you set it all up to where she can just come and hop in line. Because that's the thing. Like, if you're gonna be a leader, I was thinking about this earlier today. This kind of came to my mind. If you're gonna lead her and you want somebody to hop in line, you got to draw a clear, definitive line for that person to hop in line, for
Oh,
another person to
okay.
walk the line. If your line ain't clear, you can't get mad if the person walking somewhere that you don't want them to walk, or walking contrary to what you want, because you ain't drew no line. So you got to make it clear. So if you're gonna make it clear, that means that you taking care of everything, so she can just come and enjoy the outing.
Right.
She just
I
come, so I'm not one of the belief that the man as a leader is going, I'm a pay. And so then 50-50, you plan everything and I just come and pay stuff. You know what I mean?
right.
Because the thing is then we get too deep into the infrastructure that is America, and the infrastructure that is America is not
Oh,
the widely accepted thing in the world. There's a lot of places you go that don't subscribe to our culture, who don't have our infrastructure. So it's not just based on currency and paying for stuff. You know what I mean? And then being a leader goes way beyond just giving somebody money and paying for something. A lot of people get caught up into, I have the money and I actually give somebody money, and so then that gives me power. No, it's stuff that goes way beyond that, and the planning is a big part of that. Because if you ask, me, I would say a man is someone who plans. A man is someone who has short-term plans and long-term plans, and plans for the family, because you are the CEO. You should be the leader, so you should be planning. Your planning shouldn't be left up to your wife. Now, if your wife, now I get extenuating circumstances. A lot of times we talking this thing, and then especially you, Dre, you be like always and everybody. I get extenuating circumstances. So it's not all the time, every single time, and you only do this and I only do this. You have
yeah.
extenuating circumstances where your wife may have to plan because you're not able to for whatever reason. Now she got a
Well,
plan. So that's why it's good for her to be able to have her own mind, to be an individual, to be a woman, to be an adult. But generally speaking, you as the man, you should be planning whatever is happening. You're gonna go on vacation, plan the vacation. You should call her like, hey babe, pack a bag. And if you really want to be top G, like Andrew Tate
oh no.
say,
Oh, you didn't say that.
yes, if you really want to be top G, then you'll pack her bag too. You pack her bag, she just come home and her stuff packed, and she just got to go to the airport. That's it.
Okay. Now, my 2 cents on this is, first of all, I'm super shocked that this is what you're saying, because I feel like the temperature right now in media and just everywhere is there's this insane battle of the sexes that's going on. Everyone is pitting men against women. Women aren't this, women aren't that, blah, blah, blah. So I feel like this meme just falls right in line with that. Like, the woman should do this. And sometimes just straight up, I want to tell some of these men, well, why don't you go date other men? Okay. Like if you
People say that. Now that'd be just that's
listen,
so
Freddie,
folly.
that's where I go to. You guys have so many complaints about women and we're not doing this. And I'm like, okay, well then why don't you go date a man? And then you just let me know how you guys figure it out and you do your thing. That's not to
And see,
say,
I'm not one to say, I understand the squeaky wheel gets the grease. I know it's just a
listen,
small subset of scorned
I'm
women
just
that
saying.
dated wrong in their 20s and 30s. Now they're in their 40s. Now they want to change the narrative and move the goalposts.
No, that is not what we're saying here, Freddie. Anyway,
100%.
no, 0%. So on this particular issue, I feel like if you are dating someone, and this is where it starts to split a little bit, because yes, I would like a guy to make a plan, say, this is where we're going. This is what we're doing, Drea. This is what's happening. Now, this is just stuff in the beginning. Now, in my opinion, okay, once you get to a certain level and you're dating a little bit longer, maybe some things change. Maybe you're like, babe, I don't want to go to that restaurant. I know you picked it, but we might do something else. But it's like, to me, these kind of conversations are more based on the beginning, because even when you're dating for a little while, like maybe sometimes you take your man out to eat or whatever. I mean, I don't know. Everybody's relationship is different. But this particular thing saying, this to me is just saying nobody wants to court anymore. I hear over and over and over again that men don't want to do anything anymore. They're just like, and also I don't even blame all the men for that. Hi, Michelle. Thanks for tuning in, my love. I don't even blame all the men. Go date a man. Yeah, Amanda. Hello, for sure. Hello, for sure. I don't even blame the men for that, because some of it's like women not even realizing they're lowering their expectations and they just accept whatever, or they think the guy's really hot, or that, women always, not always, but sometimes can just do things with men knowing in their hearts they don't want to do them. And I feel like,
I mean, that's people, right?
That's people. You lose your boundaries. You lose your boundaries. And in your mind, you're knowing like, and to me, I don't know if this is lost. I don't know where this is, but I feel like still to this day, if a guy is trying to get a woman and he really likes her and he's really trying to impress her, he's going to show up and he's going to do stuff. They're not going to be like, oh, I don't know where you want to go. Whatever you want to do, I don't know, whatever. Because to me, that doesn't feel like you're excited about me. You don't really care about hanging out with me. And I didn't make the rules of courting. They just are what they are. But for me, this kind of comment, like I need to plan where we're going. But to be fair, I am a unique case, I will say, because I'm not one of those surprise eaters, because I just need to know where we're going. Like, I'm like, can you just give me can I give you 3 options and then you pick? I will be like that.
Right.
Just because I'm a mess.
Which is probably why I had to dump you. Probably why I had to dump you.
Freddie. Oh, please. Oh, please. That's a whole other episode. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but here's the thing.
Let me finish. You want to feel like, as a woman, depending on your mindset, I'm not saying this is every woman, but I do want to feel like my man's like, hey, I got it. We're going here. I planned. The effort is attractive. It doesn't mean, by the way, and I'm going to leave this caveat with you, Mr. Freddie, it doesn't mean that the tone of the whole thing has to be whatever. But like, yeah, in the beginning, like, I like that. I like when a guy's like, this is what we're doing. Medicinal. Yes, Michelle. Exactly. See, the phrase is getting out there, Freddie.
That is horrible. I don't want it to get out there because it's horrible.
It's getting out there. Trademark.
I don't. Here's the thing. What I will say, yes, a lot of men are taking this tone because you got this masculinity in women that is rising, and so then you got
rising?
You got this femininity in women that is rising because of this whole thing of men and women being the same. It's been this thing in the media where it's creating this theme of men and women are the same, and we're not the same. We're not the same. We're different. We have different strengths. We are different. And instead of celebrating and appreciating the differences between men and women, we're trying to scrub what makes men different and then accentuate and then add, even if it's fantasy, to women to then make everybody the same. And they're not. We're equal, but we're not the same.
I agree. We're not the same. We're not.
There are things that women are great at that you need a woman for. There are things men are great at where you need a man for. And that is okay. It is okay to talk to somebody or do something and say, I don't want any women for this. Where are the men? Women, go sit down.
You can't say stuff like that anymore.
And that's my point. And that is precisely my point. It is okay for their times to be, I don't want any men. Men, sit down. Where are the women? We need women for this. That is okay, vice versa. But now we got to the point to where we can't say that. Why the hell can't we say that when we know good and well that is the case?
Because the generation that we have right now and the gender
is weak.
Well, tell us how you really feel, Freddie. I'm not gonna lie. When I got my table in from Amazon, I did not think I'm gonna call my girlfriends. I did think to exactly. Hey, Christina. I did think to myself, I was like, I got to get a man to help me put this table together. Not that my girlfriends couldn't have done it. Michelle, I bet you could have. Amanda, I know you could have. Christina, for sure.
But that's my point. The fact that you had to add that caveat in.
We can. But my
I mean,
instinct,
people can attempt to do a lot of stuff, but why not get stuff efficiently done, well done,
whoa,
quickly done, and value our time?
whoa.
It's like if you're gonna move, you're moving out of your house. You're not thinking, let me call the homegirls up, we have a wine day, and we're gonna pack up and move out my house. No,
Well,
no.
not for the bigger things, probably
That's
not.
foolish. That would be foolish to think that.
Not for the bigger things. No, I get what you're saying on that. And I'm not sure where that falls in the newer generation and thinking, because those things still are real. You know what I mean? Like that's still a thing. But yeah, you got to be sensitive these days to saying, I want all men for this, I want all women for that, because now people don't think gender's a real thing. So,
And that's the thing, the truth. We are losing truth. Like we're losing the whole concept of the truth, but people want you to tell them the truth. People want you to be truthful. People want you to be honest. No, you don't. You don't want anybody to be honest. You don't want nobody to tell you the truth. People want you to lie to them. So now it's just like you like even dating. Most women really want you to lie to them. They don't want
okay,
you.
that's an interesting thing. Why would you say that most women want you to lie to them? I don't want anybody lying to me. I always wish that you could show up on a date just with all your stuff and you just say, hey, this is it. It's real. This is what you're going to see in a little bit. So let's just get it over with. Like, just keep it 100. Who wants to be? I don't want to be lied to.
That's unrealistic. That's unrealistic.
I know it's unrealistic to do layers, but I would prefer that.
Women want you to lie to them, and men want you to lie to them to a certain extent, but women definitely want men to lie to them.
What do you mean we definitely want you to lie? Please elaborate, Freddie.
I have no problem elaborating. Here's what I mean. Here's what I mean. Women, when you meet a man, you do not want a man to like you too much at the beginning. Women don't want that. And I have countless examples. People I know and I don't know, and me personally.
I don't want to be stalked.
No, I'm not talking about stalk like unhealthily, like somebody in your bushes waiting and popping out like, "Hey, Dre, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing?"
Although I probably wouldn't mind.
Yeah, but I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. So, for example, one chick I know, she met a guy, nice guy. She even said he was attractive, nice job, upwardly mobile, the whole nine. He was cool. Went out to eat with him. Went first date. It went fine. Everything went downhill for her when they were in another city.
Okay.
And another city nearby New York, but not New York. She came to New York, and then he was initially supposed to come to New York, but he decided he was like, "Nah, I'm just gonna hang out at home." Then they talked, and then she just happened to tell him. He already told her this, but then she shot to New York, and then she, was talking and was like, "Hey, I'm in I had to come up to New York, I'm hanging out up here." And he was like, he liked her and wanted to see her. He was like, "Oh, okay, well, you know what? I'll hop on a train and I'll come up there and I'll meet up with you. We can hang out." Great. It went downhill from there.
Because he went to hang out with her?
Because he wanted to go, because at first he wasn't going to come to New York. He was going to stay at home and chill. But then when he found out she was there, then he was going to hop on the train and ride up to New York to hang out with her. The train ride was probably about 2 hours. He was going to do that, and it went downhill from there.
My thoughts on that are, I don't know if everyone, and probably everyone is, running around with unhealed trauma. I hate to get all frou LA, but this idea that it's true. Inner children are running around. There's unhealed trauma. People aren't dealing with stuff. And then you end up with situations like, well, if this guy or girl, because it goes both ways. If this girl is unattainable, if this guy is unattainable, if he's not calling me back, if he's not giving me attention, then it's going to make me want him more. Now, for me, I ran through that stage. I get it. We've all done it. Oh, let me date the bad guy, whatever. But it's like, if I like somebody, and everybody who I've ever dated is very clear, when I like you, my laser's on, it's on. You're very clear that I like you. Now, if you're shooting a laser back, I'm into it. I don't decide that I don't like you because you like me, but I do know what you're talking about. I do hear stories about that. I have had girlfriends say things to me like, well, I don't want him to call me too much. And I'm like, what? Like, I just, my mind does not work that way. I definitely am unique in that regard, but I do understand that concept of if it's too easily available. But then what do, right? So if everybody feels that way and everybody's playing these games, then how do you develop a relationship? Like this doesn't make any. So we just both pretend we don't like each other.
So, here's the thing with women is a little more smoky. With men, is not as smoky. Men, it's like you could a man is feeling a woman, and the thing is that it's more so based on when we have sex with you. Just to be honest with you, it's more so based on that with the majority of men. Now you do have I'm not like that. I'm the same way. If I like you, I like you. Let's hang out. I want to see you. Let's kick it. Let's do our thing. I want you to like me too. I want it to be mutual. Let's rock. Let's run with this thing. But I do understand that the general public, when it comes to men, you could like a guy, like a chick, you like a chick, and then if you go out with her one day and then the next day she lets you hit, it's a high chance it could be a little different. I can't hear you.
Oh, here we go. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
I know that there's some people who say things like having sex very quickly doesn't matter. And there are, of course, cases where it doesn't. But I agree with you. I feel like if you're, it's like, then what else, they want to run. That's just how it is. And I feel like as soon as you have sex so quickly, women attach and men start going like this way. And it's not all the time.
Especially if it's good, especially if you drop that hammer on you.
Or vice versa. But just saying,
I mean, but women can't really drop a hammer. It's either if it's good or not. It's not really performance.
Men get
now whipped when it comes to fellatio, the performance is there with women. Now that
oh God, Freddie. Anyway, my point is that it's unfortunate that is a thing, because if you like somebody, everybody always says that. I know I've sent many a text message that my friends could not believe I was sending, because I don't give a damn. I'm like, if I like you,
yeah, you're a special case, right?
I like you. I like you. If it freaks you out, then you're not the guy for me. My mom says you can't say the wrong thing to the right guy, and I will live by that. You can't, because you make concessions for people that you like. Two men can come up to you. One's ugly, one's hot. They could say the same thing. One's a creep, and one's like, "Well, that was weird, but he's cute."
No, it ain't even that. One is a creep. One is like, "Ooh, he's exciting."
That's kind of exciting. So it's like
look, trust me, I know I've said some stuff to the chicks, just seeing, and then they just respond to it, and I'll be like, oh yeah, if I was ugly, this would not have flown. I know it wouldn't have flown.
Go over well. It would not.
Not have flown. But since I'm not, it flies, and then it takes them to a whole nother level.
Big Sag energy over here, guys. Coming through.
It's like that. But going back to
yes.
What life said, I don't agree. I'm definitely one of, I'm a man's man. A lot of people, and one thing I hate seeing is the word toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity is not a thing.
It's a thing.
It's not a thing, because masculinity is masculinity. Toxic masculinity is not masculinity. I don't know what that is. There's something else, but people like to downgrade. That's what I'm saying. It's a fight against masculinity. So now we come out with toxic masculinity. To be honest with you, are studs. That's toxic masculinity.
Wait, are you talking about lesbians?
Yes, that's toxic masculinity.
Freddie B.
What? They be doing some stuff, and I'll be like, what are you doing? That is not how we act.
Freddie B. I know you are not saying that. Toxic masculinity. You guys, if you're watching and you agree that toxic masculinity is a thing, please make sure that you are sharing your
because is toxic femininity a thing?
Please share your comment.
Is toxic femininity a thing?
No.
And so the thing is I would say it is a thing.
I've never even
I would say it
is
a thing. Toxic femininity is definitely those super femme guys, and specifically the white guys who all they are is just blackface of black women.
Okay, I don't know what you're talking about. I mean,
wait, time out. You know what I'm talking about. You know the white guys who are gay, who are very flamboyant. Okay. All they do is they wear the costume of what they think black women are. It's, hey girl, oh my God, girl. They be doing all that. They wear the costume of black women. I actually watched a YouTube video and I read some articles about how they just wear the costumes of black women, but they don't fight for black women.
Okay, Freddie, you stand in that closet alone. I'm walking out because I don't know what.
Hey, I have no problem fighting for women that look like you, Drea. If you ain't gonna help me, it's fine.
Listen, that is not what this is about. Okay, all right, let's just leave that alone.
I was on Twitter fighting for Angel Reese too, with all this Angel Reese and Clayton Clark stuff going on.
Oh my God,
I've been on Twitter going hard for her.
And I'm glad. Thank you.
Twitter going hard for her.
I was going hard for Angel Reese as well. That is a really ridiculous situation.
No, you wasn't. What was you doing?
Was.
Where was you at going hard?
Was. Yes, I
Your
was.
apartment complex do not count.
What are you talking about? Yes, I was going hard for her. I commented on things. I said I stood up for her.
So I commented on things. All right. So where's the other?
Very strongly, I did. Okay. Let's go to the next
one. Let's pull this tweet up because this next thing was.
Oh God, this is where we're probably going to lose each
other. This had you women's in a figure 4 leg lock. This had you modern women in a figure 4 leg lock.
No,
y'all could not escape.
No, it did.
Yes, it did. Because it was nothing y'all could say. It was nothing you could say.
You know me, I can always say something. That's why we're here.
Well, I know you can always say something. It don't mean it's right, though. It don't mean it's right.
I can always say something.
Look, watch this right here. Can y'all see this, folks?
I hope you can. All right. When y'all talk about not doing wife things for a boyfriend, how come having sex and popping out babies is not included in that? Y'all will do all that, but draw the line and make a standard.
God dang! God dang! Insert that video of the old man who TV broke. God dang!
Freddie, shut up. Now, okay. So I see what she's saying. I understand, but I think it's just well, okay. You go first, Freddie. I need a minute.
You need a minute.
I need a minute.
No, ladies first. Look, I went first last time. Go ahead.
I mean, look, I get it because I do think something be reserved for your husband. And yeah, there are men, in my opinion, who are like, oh, they want this and they want that. And if you're not married, those are wifely things, which, you know, but I do get it. Having sex, having a baby out of wedlock, although you can have a baby without getting married these days and it's fine. But I do understand what you can, Freddie. People do it. It's not like you can't do it. I'm not saying you should. But
no, I'm not saying it's physically impossible. That's not what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. I'm like, you obviously can have a baby without getting married, clearly. But anyway, yeah. Well, okay, that's your opinion. And then you draw the line at making a sandwich. I mean, I don't know if you can tie those two things together, in my opinion, because a lot of people have sex before they get married. They do. I think what she's saying metaphorically is just like if your guy's asking you to do something and you're like, I'm not doing all that, but I'll have sex with you. So I understand what she's saying in that regard. But this make me a sandwich thing is very triggering for a lot of people. There's something about, especially nowadays, because there are so many women who are like, you know, I can do what I want when I want. I don't need a man to do anything. And which is unfortunate. I actually don't think that way is the right way to say we don't need men. We need women. We need men. We need each other. But yeah, when you do get to a point of independence where you're kind of providing for yourself, you're doing your own thing. And then somebody says, make me a sandwich. Your instinct is to, I'm sorry, what? Excuse me? But I'm not necessarily like that. My thing is like, don't tell me I have to do something. If it's coming from my heart, which it usually is, that's fine. That's totally fine. Don't be rolling your eyes at me, Freddie. Okay. My point is I get what she's saying. However, there is a rise, like you were talking about, in more, I don't even know if I want to say it's masculinity in women, because it's like women just being adults and taking care of themselves. Like to say that that's masculine, I think it's kind of ridiculous. You know, Freddie, I'm going to ignore your face, but I think it's ridiculous to say that because women are, taking care of themselves better financially. And there's a lot of things that, I mean, you don't even need a man necessarily to have a baby. I mean, you do, but you don't have to have like a physical man with you. Oh God, he's losing his mind. He's losing his mind right now. I mean, I just know where this stems from. And I know that term for me at a time was also very triggering, because your instinct is to be like, no one's telling me what to do. Like I used to always say, I'm like, my dad's in Texas. So no one's telling me what to do. But if you get together with someone and these things are happening organically, I have no problem cooking for someone. My ex-boyfriend cooked for him all the time, happily did it, wasn't a problem, not a thing. But I think when you get stuck in these gender roles of you're the woman, therefore you better, then you lose me. But if you organically do things because it feels right, there you go. There's my 2 cents.
But who is doing you better? Like no one does that. Like no one says that. There are
people who do you better. There are people like that.
No, okay, we're talking about like we're not talking about the outliers. We're not talking about the outliers of society.
I'm going to stop you right there. Those are not outliers, sir. I know
that is the minority. That's a small minority of men walking around like you better, talking to a woman like you better do it. No, it's a small minority. Most men are not doing that. One, and then two,
that's not true.
And then two, as a woman, how do you get involved with a man who acts like that? Like
it happens all the time. But
no.
People show up as representatives of themselves and they aren't like who they actually are, and then it comes off. Okay.
No, I get that. I 100% get that. When I was engaged with the young lady I was engaged with, same deal. She got to a point that was very disrespectful, but she doesn't pop up and end up like that. I saw it. I saw early on like little breadcrumbs, little bits and pieces, and it slowly came out. And it's like over time, it's like, oh, you realize and you look back like, what the hell going on here? And so then that was my first time being in that situation. Now I'm a little more privy, but the thing is that I didn't have another woman vet her. If I had another woman vet her, it would have worked out way better than what it did.
That those things would have been seen earlier?
Yeah, if I had another woman like with us, like interacting with her to see how she is, so on and so forth, and talk to her, interact with her, then yeah, then that woman would have seen her and seen who she is inside. That's what I've noticed. Like now I'm to the point, it's tricky, like getting hooked up, getting set up with people. Every time a woman sets me up with a woman, the woman usually, like, she's a great girl, but like I'm not attracted and I'm never attracted to her in the least. But I see it, I'm like, who is this? Like, what is this? Like, what's going on?
Physically.
Yeah, physically, it's like it's just not even in my wheelhouse. And the thing is I'm a man. Like, the visual matters more to me than a woman. A woman is like a woman. You meet a woman, like, you get to know her inside and who she is, a person, all this other type of stuff. Now, men who hook me up with women.
Oh my God, Freddie.
Like, oh my God, yes. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, none of it's worked out because I'm single. None of it's worked out, obviously. But the thing is at least the first step is good when a man hooks me up. Now, going back to what I was saying, like with her, like if I had a woman to vet, it would have worked out way better. It would have worked out way better. My mom actually was doing some premarital counseling with us, but I don't know. My mom I don't know. My mom is terrible at vetting women for me. She's she's just terrible, period.
No.
She's terrible. She's terrible. My mother's terrible. I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you. That's all I know how to do. Keep it a buck. My mom is terrible. My mom, she's terrible. Like, she'll pick women who aren't cute. One, they aren't cute. And then two, she'll like women who aren't like quality for me, who aren't like in the realm of treating me and actually us meshing as people. Then she'll just like let stuff slide. And then afterwards she'll still be talking, being friends with them, like with the girl.
What do you expect? I mean, if she's hooking you up with them, I'm assuming that she
No. Now the chick I was engaged with, she didn't hook me up with her. I was dating her. And then we broke up, and my mom know all the details, and she thought it was broke, but she was still friends with her. And she posted. That's what she did. She posted a picture of me and her after the fact on Facebook. I'm like, what? Why? I didn't say nothing, but I'm just like, because it's just stupid. I don't deal. Stupid stuff. I'm not gonna volunteer myself to deal with some stupid stuff. So I just didn't say nothing. But that's my mom. But like I said, with her, with her, like that's what happened. And so women that are with men, because that's an abusive man, a man like you better, like man, that's some scary abusive stuff. And that happens, but that's not the majority. The majority of men are not doing that. You're not talking about over 50% of men dating women are abusive to women.
But I know that there is a culture of men. And even if it's not the literal words of you better, it's this energy of you need to get over there because you have a vagina. And that kind of stuff does not work for me. Now, if we come to a mutual agreement and it feels good for both of us, we kind of figure things out. Like in my living situation, the way that we figured things out works for both of us. There wasn't anybody feeling like, and I know you don't understand. You always think this is like the dramatic part of it, but I just know for me, like I could not be in any situation like that. Okay. Now it has to be mutual understanding. I'm doing this like we're on the same page. There's reciprocity, all good. Because like I say, every episode, I have no problem leaning into those more domestic traditional roles, but that stuff happens organically. But if anybody tries to give me side eye, I ain't doing it.
I mean, but that's you with anything, anybody. And the thing is like in your personal relationships, whether it's friendship or romantic, somebody tell you to do something, you gonna feel away.
How are you telling me to do it?
Somebody can just tell you to do something.
No, it depends. It depends.
Give me an example of somebody telling you to do something. You just like, okay, you're not gonna feel the type of way.
What do you mean? Like in an instance for work, if we're unpacking a box or something, like Dre, can you put that over there? Okay.
No, I said personal relationship. I ain't say but the thing is that was my next point. What I know is women like you and anybody else, when you go to work, people will tell you what to do and you'll do it. No problem. Hey, Dre, put that box over there. Hey, Dre, when you get done,
if I'm at home and he's like, put that box over there. Okay.
Dre, can you make me a sandwich, please?
Absolutely.
Oh, what? No. Make you a sandwich right now?
Make you a sandwich. Drea, can you make me a sandwich, please? Yes.
Right now, Scandal's on. I'm watching Scandal.
No.
Can this wait?
Oh, wait, we're watching TV together already on the couch. See? Depends on what episode it is. I'm just kidding. No, but instinctually, yes, Christina, we know, girlfriend. Hi, Christina. I think instinctually, though, if you guys are super in sync, then you would already know that your man needs a sandwich. That would be ideal. Women will happily take care of a man who takes care of her. Amen, Panda. Reciprocation, maybe if you dudes aren't getting a sandwich or the wife moves, maybe you aren't taking care of her in all the ways. Okay.
Obviously, which I ain't mad at it. Amanda's a freak, but I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. The last little bit told me everything I needed to know. But here's the thing. Here's where I have a problem. Here's where I have a problem with all this. I have a problem when people are talking about like, okay, I'll make him a sandwich if he doing. It's like a caveat to it. And the thing versus like I have no problem taking care of my man. I'm gonna take care of my man. I want to take care of my man. And full stop. No.
Because when you say full stop, Freddie, that means that like it doesn't matter what they do or say. It does matter what they do or say.
That's not what that means. Because the thing is if they are not filling your cup, then that woman knows she's not even going to be present.
Yes,
why would
my cup is being filled. Absolutely. Like Nikki just said.
Why is she even present? Because if I had a daughter that did not want to make her had balked at doing stuff for her husband, I wouldn't ask her, why are you, or like, but even before that, why are you with him? Why are you with him? If you have a problem, if he tell you to do something and you don't want to do it, why are you with him?
No, but that's what I'm saying. We're actually saying the same things. Like when I am asked nicely by the man I love, I'm happy to, of course, like whatever. But to me, yeah, if your cup's being filled, you're happy, all those things are in there. Great. But vice versa for the man too. It's not just like, oh, I'm a woman only if. To me, it goes both ways.
But that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we have basically, here's the whole point of what I'm saying, the net of it. The whole point is we as a society, now people go into relationships not in good faith. Like people don't go in good faith thinking about like and expecting. Because like it's just like when I used to go to church, the pastor used to say, come expecting. When you go to a comedy show, you go expecting to laugh. You go to a basketball game, you go expecting to be entertained, and that's how you get entertained. Nobody wants to go to an entertainment outing with somebody who's going and expecting not to be entertained. You like, no, you're gonna dampen the whole
mood. You're gonna mess up the energy.
Exactly. And so you go into relationships with in good, because that means you're going to the place in good faith. So you go into a relationship in good faith, and if things go awry, then you address them and you step back from it. It's pretty simple once you think about it.
Relationships aren't always a smooth road and you go through things. But I'm saying overall, if you guys are in a situation and you've set your dynamic up, it works out for you, he's coming home or whatever the case may be, and you have a sandwich ready, he asks you to do something in that type of situation. Yes, you want to take care of your man. You're not even thinking about these kind of things that we're talking about. You're already doing your thing. So you are in your relationship in good faith. Your cup's being filled, his cup's being filled. Everybody's good to go. I'm just saying, I'm speaking on the end of where you feel disrespected or you feel like not appreciated. That's where it comes from what I'm talking about. Now, if everybody's happy, everybody, not you, not just him, but if you were collectively happy, yeah, of course. If that's your dynamic, if that's how it works for you.
But I'm saying that should be then it shouldn't come out with you balking to do something for that person. It should come out like, hey, look, we need to have a conversation because the way you've been talking to me is unacceptable and I don't like it. Like, and then you having counseling, your periodic counseling, things like that. And that's what I'm saying. That's where problems come in, because then expectations are not being met. And it's like, hold on, what's up? Because you're going through the house and like, hey, babe, can you make me a sandwich? And did she bring you a sandwich? Like, okay, can I have something to drink with this sandwich too? And then it's like, all that, and it shouldn't be no lip. It should be like, okay, get the drink.
And what is see comments like that? It shouldn't be no lip. Like why?
It shouldn't be no however you want to say it. Talk back, lip, problem, issue. Like, why is there issue? Like, because the thing is, how I imagine it is,
if there's an issue, something else is going on. I call it the metaphorical toilet seats up, right? So you get mad about the toilet seat up. It's never about the toilet seat. It's always because something else is going on, right?
And that's where the relationship goes off the rails, because now you're not acting in good faith because there's something else wrong that you focus on. Something else that has nothing to do with the sandwich, but it's just coming out
about the sandwich. And to use your words, it's so eloquently, if you're dropping the hammer or vice versa, everybody's probably fine to make a sandwich.
I mean, trust me, if anybody knows. So, but that's what I'm saying is going into a relationship, because like anytime there's been a problem with me with a young lady, like it's being communicated. So like whatever needs to be done is done. Like, it's times I done been with my lady. She has some friends come over. I get up and start making drink. What y'all want to drink? I just become Mr. Server, man. They can sit, have a girl talk, pouring up drinks. And I just stay over in the kitchen and like, hey, can I have another drink? Boom, I'm bringing drinks. I'm just running drinks. I ain't got no problem with that. If I got a problem, it's something already being said, because I go in a relationship with good faith. I don't go in. I don't approach a relationship like, well, if she doing this, then I do that. Like, no, I already know what I need to do.
But at this point of a relationship that we're talking about, Freddie, you're talking about living, if her girlfriends come over. I mean, this is well into it. Now, are you saying to have this kind of faith when you just start dating someone as well?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
The thing is, you go into a relationship, like when I meet a woman, I'm meeting a woman. I'm not bringing any past baggage of what happened. Okay. I'm meeting her for her, getting to know her. Like, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. This is where I'm trying to go. Yeah. I'm being transparent, that whole deal. And like I'm saying, I'm approaching her with good faith because she deserves that from me, because I've never met her. She's never done anything to me. That's bogus for me to treat her with a preconceived notion, because that's the basis of racism. White people treating black people based off something else that ain't got nothing to do with me. So with her, I'm not going to treat her based off another woman. There's nothing to do with her.
But that requires a level of emotional involvement that I don't think the average person is walking around with, unfortunately. So we always talk about generalities, and generally speaking, most people, unfortunately, do not have emotional involvement that way. And they absolutely take stuff from their past relationships and bring it into their their current relationship. So you've heard many times people say, oh, I just got done with this, I'm never going to do this again, you will never catch me, blah 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 blah. So you go into the next thing being like, until those walls unfortunately get broken down. I'm not saying it's right. I think you should go in with a clean slate. But I think as you get older, maybe you've been burned a little bit. I don't know. You've dated a little while. You get.
That's a problem.
It's a problem.
That is a problem.
It is what it is.
No. And so that's how we end up repeating cycles.
I'm just saying, if you aren't doing anything about it, and my mom says, how you start a relationship is how it will end. You must have a set of non-negotiables or values you honor prior. And so that still kind of goes into the same thing, because like those non-negotiables list that you have essentially stem from stuff you've dealt with in the past. That's just how that goes.
I mean, but the thing is people do that, but that's incorrect. We can't accept. That's the thing. We can't accept things like that as standard, because that doesn't help anyone. I do not want a woman. If I'm dating a woman, as soon as I see she's treating me based off another dude I don't know, and holding me to that particular standard and treat me like that. Oh, I'm not gonna say I'm a dumper, but we gotta address this. We gotta full stop. We got to figure this out, boo-boo, because whoever that guy was, that ain't me. That ain't me. He ain't me. We don't compare. And so you got to figure that out before we continue, because I'm not about to keep going through something with you and a man I don't know.
But you also
I'm in a relationship with you.
Freddie, what you're saying is so evolved, and the average guy is not having these kind of conversations. It's unfortunate. And that's why I say you said that I'm unique in some ways. You're unique in that way. A lot of men are they're running. It's unhealed trauma. They don't know how to deal with their feelings. They aren't even like evolved enough to have a conversation of this depth, to talk about therapy, to talk about counseling when you get married, like to say, hey, I'm not going to bring in stuff from my previous relationships. Some of this stuff is so unconscious that we're not even realizing that we're doing that.
And all that's fine. But what I'm saying is, like, for me, I'm trying to set a higher standard for people, period. Not accepting the status quo. That's Absolutely. The problem. People accept the status quo. Men, majority. Well, let's say majority of men don't have that evolved thinking. They should, though. They should.
Absolutely. They should.
They should. And so then now people who do should be going back to them to help them understand that this is where you should be. Where you're at is not acceptable and it's wrong. Not it is what it is and just keep doing it, because I'm pretty sure you as a woman, you don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that. Nobody does. So why would we accept that?
Right. Moving forward, one of my big non-negotiables is not dating a guy who can't have a conversation like this. So if you're in a relationship with someone, you're going to have difficult conversations. If you make the commitment to show up to someone as an adult, not just running around as your inner child wounded self. If you say, hey, I'm going to show up to this person, you have to have the awareness that, hey, I'm going to go through the trenches with this person. We're going to have to sit down and have some talks that are going to be really uncomfortable at times. It doesn't mean we're going to break up. It doesn't mean we're going to leave each other, but you want a partner that's going to show up, especially with men. And I don't want to harp on men, because women, more emotional, way more interested in communicating. But to have a man who comes up to you and says, hey, babe, we need to talk. I'm like, where's that guy? Where is he at? Because most of the time it's women going, hey, babe, can we talk? Can we da-da-da-da-da? And I think, Freddie, you're right. If there were more evolved men, to be honest, phrases like, let me make you a sandwich, or can you make me a sandwich, maybe wouldn't be so difficult. Because to me, there's nothing more attractive than a man who can figure out his own stuff, can identify his trauma, and can even say to me, hey, babe, I'm having a bad day. I know this is my stuff. It's not yours. Like, that gives me goosebumps. I'm like, where's that guy? Is he around? Do you know what I'm saying? But that's not happening. It's not happening.
It's not happening. Women that take accountability is not happening. So in this same conversation, you got women in the same position that are still dealing with stuff, and they just lash out. And then it's like they don't want to take accountability for their lashing out, for the anger. And then that's where we talk about the masculinity, because then it goes into aggression, and then it goes into a false sense. Because that's toxic masculinity, because it's this false aggression, because we live in America. We live in America, and America has an infrastructure that affords women the opportunity to act like this. You take these same women, you put them in Cologne, Panama. You put them in the Ashanti region of Ghana.
Oh yeah, no, we're not doing all that.
That's my point. That's my point. You put them out in different villages in Ghana. You put them in Cologne, Panama, even places in Panama City, Panama, or even Colombia. You put them in all these other countries, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, El Salvador. You put them in all these other third world countries where the American infrastructure doesn't exist. Now the actions have changed, because then you realize I need a man. I can't be out here alone because it's dangerous for me. It's not healthy for my health to be out here by myself.
That's how this whole podcast got started, in a parking lot, on this very conversation from Freddie talking about his third world country travels and how women in America versus women over there, you really need, like, you can't just go and say, hey, I'm going to start a business, I'm going to build a house, or I'm going to buy a house or whatever. They'll look at you like you're crazy. And I think we are very fortunate to have the opportunities that we have as women in America, because I own my condo. You're not going to tell me I can't own my stuff.
You didn't build it.
Okay, I didn't build it, but it's mine.
Right. And so, but no, actually how we started, we talked about, I was telling you about the story when I was in Cologne, Panama, and over there people live, it's a lot. I've seen a big, like half the city were living in buildings with no doors and no windows. Tell me where a single woman by herself, nobody, you gonna feel comfortable living in a big city and you have no doors and no windows on your crib.
We don't have to do that here, Freddie. So.
That's my point. That's my point.
But you also say it like we should be doing that. Like that's
no. I'm not saying we should. I'm not saying we should. But what I'm also saying is, people like to think America is so far removed from that, and we're not. We are one disaster, one step from being right in that same situation where the condo you live in, somebody can walk in your condo easily and there's no police to call.
Well, we're not there today. So
but we're not there today. But what I'm saying is that can easily happen because of the infrastructure we have. Like, you live in a world where you live in a condo, you're safe. Something happens, you call the police will show up, hopefully arrest them, find them, all that type of stuff. So that keeps people in check from doing whatever. In all these other places, women live with a group of other women, but then they also have brothers, men heading the family, to like where other people won't just run up and take their stuff or do anything to them, because it's like, oh, you got uncle, brother, cousin, daddy, all these other people that you have to deal with. And so that keeps everything is harmoniously in check.
Because you're saying because of the structure of the men are protecting the women, and so in that regard, everything's harmoniously in check.
Yeah, because it's a reason why when you watching the news and you hear about, like with Jonathan Majors, last week we talked about it. Jonathan Majors, the girl, and everybody was about to cancel him because men shouldn't be hitting the women. Why shouldn't men hit women? Because we are physically superior to women, right?
Well, no one should be hitting anybody, Freddie.
Yeah, people like to say that, but
it's true.
Nobody should be, but it's a lot of things nobody should be doing, but people do, like you just eloquently stated. People do. We live in an imperfect world. We are all imperfect beings, so people every day do things they should not do, from small, quote unquote, to big, quote unquote. It happens, and so it is what it is. And so now with this, we can't hope that for the rest of our history, no person will hit another person. Right now, somebody's getting their ass whooped.
That's true.
Right now, and then
in that regard,
when you wake up in the morning, somebody will be getting their ass whooped.
Look,
after you eat breakfast, somebody will be getting their ass whooped.
In terms of a man hitting a woman, yes, it does. It's a bigger, like when Dana White hit his wife. He was lucky enough to get it out of the media, but it would hold a harder effect watching Dana hit his wife versus his wife hitting him, obviously, because he's.
That's my point. And so, but what I'm saying is, in this world, this is the world we live in. People get angry. People attack other people. People take other things from people. We live in an infrastructure where people can take $1 million in the blink of an eye based off the digital infrastructure of credit cards and all that type of stuff. Right. But other cash-based, people will just walk in and take your money. People want what other people want all day, every day. It's called envy. It's one of the 7 deadly sins. That's been a concept since the beginning of time. People have done that from the beginning of time. So that is something that is. And so in America, the infrastructure we have, it keeps things in check, but we're so reliant and we live in this false sense of security because This past winter, when the winter storms hit California and everything went out there and people was just alone. A couple of years ago, when Texas grid went out because of the ice storm.
Oh yeah.
People, like there were no police.
Listen,
there were no police to call.
I get what you're saying. I personally don't think that some disaster is going to happen where it takes us that far back. I get your sentiment, but I want to highlight what Christina said, that, sex crimes in those places are high against women, right?
But does Christina know why? I know why.
Well, I don't know why. Why is it?
I don't know how much Christina has traveled to all these different countries that she speak of. I've traveled to a few, and one thing you see that is common is prostitution. Why is that the case?
Why would
a lot of the women
common for it to be there be in the Latin countries?
No, Ghana too. I went to Ghana,
really?
Same thing. Yes.
But I would
South Africa, yes. Any third world country. Any third world country you go to.
I would think that it would maybe be less because of the oppression of women. Like I would feel like it'd be less prostitution.
The reason why it exists so much because
Dad. Sorry, my dad's in here.
Yeah, I just saw him. Love you, baby. Here's the thing. In those countries, you go to Cartagena, Accra, Cabo, Cancun, all those third world countries, all those cities, is the prostitution and what she talks about. Like people hear sex crimes and they think that men are snatching women and forcing them against their will to have sex. That's not what that means.
Prostitution.
Huh?
You're saying it's mostly prostitution?
Majority of the sex crimes are women on their own deciding to prostitute. Deciding. Like
the sex crime isn't like men forcing themselves. It's because they're illegally selling their bodies.
No. Yeah. So here's the thing. It's illegal. In all these places, it's illegal.
Obviously.
But here's the thing. In third world countries, third world country is a country that doesn't have a middle class. They have no middle class. Either you're super rich or you're super poor.
Okay.
And so when you're super poor, obviously a lot of those super poor people, they see Western culture. Because our culture is pumped out to the world.
It is.
Pumped out to the world. So all those countries, they see Western culture and see the stuff that we're doing. And so then they want to do it as well. They want the clothes, the cars.
With Instagram and social media.
Exactly. Even more so. And so here's the thing. In those third world countries, the only people that even can get a taste of it if you're super poor are women. The men never get a taste of it because they can't prostitute themselves. They got to sell knickknacks and try to make like a little money. The girls
but it's probably not as successful.
No, they can't. You're a poor man in these countries. You're gonna be poor unless you play some sports, unless you play soccer real good and somebody find you and then ta-da, you making money. But other than that, you're gonna be where you at and you're gonna be there. The women a lot of times can make the jump because they prostitute themselves and they make way more money than the guys selling their body, doing that, especially if you look good. And then they also, you really hit the jackpot if you meet one of these tourists that come fall in love with you and then they fly you to America and they fly you here and there. Because I know two girls. I've met two girls in Cartagena that have done that. Met them down there.
That's very, very common. It's very common.
I follow them and I see them now and they Louis, they booming and bunking.
I don't know the statistics on this, but I have heard that sex crimes in these countries is a lot higher than here. But, I will say, Freddie, I get what you're saying. I think at the end of the day, I've definitely learned a lot in the past 7-9 months about this particular issue, because it is just very hot right now in the media with women against men. And I hope that it somewhat cools down. I blame Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, I blame you. Although he just got out of jail, so I'm sure we'll have some lovely hot topics coming up for him. But
he's in house arrest and he still got to go to trial, so he still get locked up.
Can you imagine when he comes out with his next video? It is going to go. I mean, I'll be watching, of course. So whatever.
It's going. That's funny. Like I know it's going to shut it down, but I'm not like.
Probably.
I'm not. 100%. I didn't plan to watch. It's funny. Out of both of us, people would have thought I would have been planning to watch it more so than you. But
no, I mean even I don't watch it live, I'll watch it. But anyway, let's move on to our next issue. Our next topic. This is a TikToker. Her name is. What is her name? What is her
She
name?
42
Natalie
years
Bright.
old. That's all I know.
Natalie Bright. Okay, let me move on over to Miss Natalie Bright and share my screen. So she is happily childless at 42. And it looks like she got a lot of hate recently for being 42 and childless on TikTok. Wait, sorry about that. So yeah, 42-year-old Natalie Bright has gone viral for her TikToks addressing ageism and motherhood. So she made this little video and she's celebrating the fact that she's 42 and childless, and commenters are praising her for approaching a tough, taboo subject with positivity. She makes a lot of content of beauty stuff, and a lot of people who are her naysayers are saying, who's going to take care of you when you're 70? You don't know true love until you give birth. You're going to die alone. You failed at life. They're coming at her hard. People have a lot of opinions because it's not really openly discussed. It's a sensitive subject. But obviously, in today's day and age, it is way more common now for, people to be this age. And there's a lot of memes where people are happy and childless and there's a lady who spoke to her from the nursing home, and she said, look, there are people with lots of kids that still die alone, and it doesn't really matter because we all die alone essentially anyway. Her video went super viral. It got 2.5 million views. And so, somebody called her that she'll be a future crazy cat lady. And she said happily so. But I just want to mark, she's 42. I think she looks amazing. She's living her best life. I know Freddie is not going to fully agree. But I think look, again, I don't think, thank you, Mom, I love you. I don't think that if you don't want to have children, I don't think if you don't want to have children, you don't have to have children. That's it. Like, not everybody needs to have children. Not everybody wants to have children. And especially if you don't want to, and you bring a child in this world and you treat the child and remind them that you don't want. I have a very close friend whose parents reminded them that they didn't want him. Okay. So it's not good. So this woman's 42.
Why?
What you mean? Why?
Why? Like this, he had both parents and they had him and they reminded him.
They told you were a mistake. I didn't want you, but they did.
Like, but I mean, like usually, like there's a reason, like that, like nobody just.
It don't matter the reason.
I'm not saying the reason is justified. I guess I'm just interested to know, like what was the reason? But go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Tiana. There are too many people having kids that don't want them. So if you figured out for you, you're with your partner, you want to travel. Some people fall in love with their animals. Look, I get it. Our population is going down. There's a lot of things changing. People are having kids later. There's a lot of older parents nowadays. I will probably be one of them. It just is what it is. Different life choices. Society's changing. I know, Freddie, you don't agree with all these things. I'm not saying that it's right, but it is what it is. I think it's great that she's 42. Life is already so hard enough. You don't need to, like you said earlier, like whatever the standard is, right, Freddie? It shouldn't be that men aren't emotionally involved. So it's like, this is what everybody else is doing right now. And you're like here because your emotional intelligence is very high, right? So for this woman, you need to have a child and you need to get a husband. And that's the only way you're going to find happiness. That is not true for all people. They don't need a family. They don't want children. They want to do what they want to do. And my mom's listening here. She told me the other day, she's like, girl, you ain't ready for no baby. Because I move around a lot. I mean, I think I am in the right situation, but I know I'm on the move doing things. And if you're going to have a kid, it's a huge commitment. It's a huge commitment that not everybody is ready to make. She's 42. I mean, she could change her mind, I guess, but it seems like it's unlikely. So I say shout out to Natalie Bright for taking all the criticism, because I'm sure she got a lot. But if this is truly what she wants, I think it's good. Here we go, guys. Let me ring my bell.
I mean, what the thing is I had this conversation with a young lady that actually used to be cool with. Why we stopped being cool? We stopped being cool because
why, Freddie? Please.
It was a conversation on rape. That's why we stopped being cool. Okay. It was a conversation on rape. Because we can maybe to give. I'm of the belief of always, right is right, wrong is wrong. Now, I'm not saying wrong ain't wrong, wrong is wrong, but you should always make sure you are vigilant, taking care of yourself. there's that, and she disagreed. Um, and then we were talking about rape, which is a touchy subject, which you can follow people like that if they disagree with you.
Oh yeah, that's instant. Forget it.
So yeah, so that's we disagreed, and she felt like I was enabling rapists. I was like, bro, I'm done with this conversation. I'm like, this conversation is dumb. You're not even trying to hear what I'm trying to say. I'm listening to what you're saying. And I agree. And then, I'm talking about my mom and stuff like that. And I've talked with my mom, and a lot of this stuff, has come with her talking to women about that, because she was, molested a lot and raped when she was younger. And so she talks to women that are incarcerated, because a lot of women incarcerated have been through that. And even when I was in college, I dated 2 girls that were like that. So I've talked to women like that and had conversations with them about that. But about this, this young lady, celebrating. I don't think saying I don't want kids when you can have kids is to be celebrated. It's not something to celebrate. Now,
right, for you,
if that's what you want to do, that's what we all got free will. God gave us free will. So who am I to tell you to no, you need to do this? I'm nobody. I'm just a single man out here.
Yes.
But there are things that should not be celebrated. Like her basically saying I'm selfish should not be celebrated.
How is she saying she's selfish? Oh my goodness.
So, like I said, the one chick that we fell out, this is one of the things we had a conversation on, because she said the same thing. She was like, I don't want children. And I was like, that's selfish. That's selfish. Because
Freddie B.
Look, like I said, everything I say, I have a I never pull anything out my butt. Very, very deep reason.
Let me brace myself for this.
Your mom is waiting for my answer, so you holding me up.
Go ahead.
Your mom is. So here's the thing, like I tell anybody, the life you live is not for you. Your life you live is not for you. You are not the focus. You are the focus. Everything starts from you, but the life you live is not for you. You do not, like me. I don't live my life just to make me happy, just to fulfill myself. That's not why I live life. I live life for my wife and my children, my lineage, to make sure that I try to make sure I set myself up in the best way possible, so that when I have children, I had a wife, I am who I need to be plus more for them. So then when I die and leave, my children can stand on the shoulder of giants and be better than me, because I've given them and I'm able to give them everything that I have. When you are not your best self, then you're not able to give everything you are. So prior to meeting them, that's when you're trying to build yourself up to do that. And you might have fun or whatever the case may be, but you're doing everything for your future spouse and your children, so that when you leave with a receipt to the world, like, hey, I came into this world not just to take, but to give. And so the fact that people come into this world and like, I just want to travel, I just want to kick it, I don't feel like dealing with no kids, I don't want to take care, I don't want the responsibility, I'm just about me. Yeah, that means that you came into the world to take. You came in to take, and when you leave, there is no receipt of what you gave back to the world. There's no bigger receipt to give back to the world than your offspring. So, for example, your mother. When your mother is dead and gone, she has daughters in the world, living, moving throughout the world, that shows Jacqueline Smith was in this world, and she took from this world what she needed to produce these 2 women. And here they are, they're living into the world, and hopefully they multiply what I do, because I have 2 of them. So now they have 2 kids each. Now it's 4 people that give back to the world, and so on and so forth. You people decide like, I don't want nobody, you just died, you just gone, you just left, and it's like, oh, you just kicked it and had fun and took it, and then you did. But that's selfish.
No, I disagree with you. I disagree with you.
Selfish.
I disagree with you.
It's totally selfish.
I think my dad said you should always celebrate kids. Yes, you should celebrate kids if you want them. If you want them, like for me, let's say I do want children, but let's say hypothetically I didn't have children. My sister who passed, rest her soul, Audrey, love you, has 4 kids, right? So I got to a point with me personally where I was like, I want children, but let's just say it did not happen. I do have my nieces and my nephew that I take care of, that I support, that I talk to, that it's become a huge part of my life, right? So it's like, I'm not going to feel like I didn't leave anything to the world. I didn't do anything for the world if I didn't want to have children. And I don't feel like this woman who's 42 years old and celebrating the fact that she doesn't want to have children is selfish, that she's not giving anything. She actually is giving something to the world for the women who are in her same position. She is leaving something behind, that letting people know, like, hey, if this is your life choice, because there are people with alternative life choices where there's things like, you have to do this and you should do this. You should have a child. You should have a kid. You should have a ring. You should get the house. Not everybody goes in that space. And there are people.
Wait, you said the ring, and what are you talking about? The ring in the house? I didn't say that.
All the things, like what everybody thinks like you're supposed to do. You go to college and you meet the guy and you get the job and you do the thing, all the like normal things. But there are a lot of people who live a life that is against the grain. Freddie, you and I live a life that it's against the grain. And there are people who feel bad about that. They look at their lives like, man, I didn't do this. I've had my own troubles with it. But then you see somebody like that woman who's celebrating her own personal life choice. And she probably helped so many women who are like, oh my God, I feel bad at times for not having a child, but I really don't freaking want one. And that's okay. I have a girlfriend, bless her heart. She has like 7 cats. She's happy. She's content. She just got a man. They're about to get engaged. She's good. She's like, this is my life. I'm cool with it. I don't think she's selfish. She's such a giver. You can still leave your imprint on the world and not have a child. That's absolutely possible.
You see what Nikki said? I think that's a key. It's very key right there. I think it's two different things to have not had children and actually not wanting children. Those are two different things. And so I'm not speaking to people who ended up not having children. They wanted children and they want children, but for whatever reason, I'm not gonna get into what reasons or whatever, but for whatever reasons, they didn't have children. I'm speaking to people who have early on in their 20s, 30s, whatever, they decided, I don't want children. That's what I'm speaking to. And the thing is yes, we live alternative.
Early on in your 20s, you're deciding. I mean, who knows at that
point? I'm saying who people who can have children saying I don't want children. I think that is that if somebody says to me, that's a red flag, because anecdotally, I will say anecdotally, all those people, you see selfishness creep up. They're not free givers. They're not somebody who, and when I'm talking about giving, I'm talking about giving of oneself, not just, oh, Dre, we out, like, oh, Dre, I got brunch, girl, you saw me, you good, and they just pay for brunch and whatever. Or you go to a club, they buy the bottle, you drink the bottle, they spend $200 on bottle. I'm talking about giving of oneself. There's an example in the Bible where the rich man gave a tithe and the widow gave a penny, but Jesus said she gave more than the rich man. That's because she gave all she had. She gave all she had. The rich man, he gave more, but that was piss money to him. That wasn't nothing to him. I'm talking about people who give of themselves, who give all they have and then plus more, and they still persevere for the betterment of society or the betterment of whoever. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about people who, oh, she's not selfish, she gave this because she had it to give and it wasn't a problem and she could keep moving. It wasn't going to make no dent and stuff. People who give of themselves, people who like, they gave that and that was tough. That probably set them back. That probably put them in a crazy situation, but they did it for a bigger purpose. That's what I'm saying. And when you have children, that's what that means, because you spend 18, 20 years raising that child up, dealing with them, going through all that. And then a woman gives up her body to give birth to that child. You do all that to get this child in the world for the hopes that this child will look back. So you're hoping. So you give of yourself and it may not turn out for you, but you're still willing to do it. And that says a lot about all the people that have children and want to have children. It says a lot about them.
Everybody does. And I personally think it is so hard, especially as our society changes and technology and social media. There's all these things, you're constantly stimulated. People are depressed all the time. I don't think it's right, but I just feel like if you can live authentically to who you are without thinking about what everybody else is doing and what everybody is saying, and you should do this and you should do that, whatever's really in your heart and that's what you want to do, then you go ahead and do it. Oh, hello, Aunt Vicky. Hi. If you don't want to have children and you don't think you're going to be a good parent, even if you can have children, I'm sure there's tons of people who have had children just because they were told they better have children. I don't know what their lives are like, but there are people that didn't want children. My Aunt Vicky just said, I didn't want a child. My Aunt Vicky had a child.
Is that common on people who have children because they're told they better have children? How common is that, though, Dre?
What are you talking about? People definitely do that. Like, oh, I'm supposed to have a
I'm
child.
not saying. Listen, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. What I'm saying
I
is
think
that's
it's
an
very common.
outlier.
Yes, I think it's very, you get married, you have a kid, or you don't even get married. I know there are women that are, mid 30s, like, I better have a child. Like, they're not even sure if they want a child. It's just like what you're supposed to do. Like, I know for me, I do. But I know sometimes because of society and what you think you're supposed to do, some people fall into that. And then the child suffers. So to have this
I wouldn't say
idea
that's
that
society
if
though. I would say that's biology. That's
what
biology.
biology?
That a woman in her 30s start feeling pressure to have a child. That's biology.
No, we can agree. I agree. I
That's
think it's
biology.
both. I think it's both.
It's not
That's my opinion.
societal, but it's because it's biology. It's people. We all know that when you get in your 40s, when you get 35, that's high risk pregnancy. The child could die, come out with special needs. You could die, or you just get to where you can't have children. So the clock is ticking. So that's just something we
No,
all
I
know.
agree with
But
you.
that's
But I'm just
biology.
saying, people have kids later these days. So this is what's happening.
They
So
do.
I
They
just
do.
feel
But
like, if you do not want to have a child, this woman's 42 and she's happy about it and she's fine. There's somebody looking at this woman going, thank you for saying that. And to me, that isn't being selfish. This is a very
how does
vulnerable
that
thing to
benefit the
say.
world though?
What do you mean? People are going to not have kids anyway. It's not like everybody's going to have a kid. And
No,
there are also
when
people, and just the same way there's a TikToker saying, I'm happy about, not having a kid. There's also a million TikTokers who are saying, I love my children and supporting that. You know what I mean? So I think it's fine if you find your tribe. And when you see something that's off the beaten path, like when I see people on TV or reality shows or whatever, kind of living an off the beaten path life, it makes me feel better. So when you see stuff that's happening like you out there, it makes you feel better. And that's
like
absolutely true.
when you say it makes you feel better, what do you mean?
Because you're doing something that's against the grain. This woman being 42 and not having a kid, that's not common. That's not what you're supposed to do. Because people like you say she's selfish because she doesn't want to have a child. I mean, that's so silly.
It is. It is. Because she's living life for her. She's living life just for her.
But she's also a content creator putting out a lot of content that can help people too. Whatever.
But how does that help people though? I don't know.
Freddie, you don't think that this article helped anybody at all? That people
help somebody
about not having children. That's insane to say that.
I mean, so let me ask you this. Say for instance, somebody got on TikTok.
How does a movie help someone, or how does people watch the Oscars help someone? It inspires people. But
all inspiration ain't good inspiration. All like the helping, it ain't good. It's relative. It's just like
you don't think this is good.
No.
Reading that will feel inspired in a good way.
Okay, so for example, let me give you an example. Let's say there's a guy on TikTok and he's 30 and he like, I just married the love of my life. She's 16. And then somebody feel good and they inspired by like, oh, it's happening.
I mean, listen, I hate to say this, but unfortunately, that happens. And there probably is somebody that will see that and be like, oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Freddie, but you can't compare somebody that's like dating an underage person to a woman who doesn't want to have a child.
Because 16 is underage in America, not underage in Jamaica.
Well, then he can go to Jamaica then.
But what I'm saying, I don't agree with a 30-year-old man marrying a 16-year-old little girl. I don't agree with it. But what I'm saying is the concepts are still the same. Somebody can see that and they feel good, like, oh, this person doing something different. I've been wanting to do that, and they feel inspired.
That's an against the grain type of relationship. Absolutely.
And what I would say is like, no, that's not good. That's not a good thing. That's not something that should be celebrated. I don't think that should be celebrated. A 30-year-old man married a 16-year-old.
But that's because that's part of my values and my views. We don't agree on this 42-year-old woman.
And the same thing where somebody's saying from the jump, I don't want children. And yay for me, because I don't want children. I don't like that's not something. Now, if she want to do it, cool, fine, do your thing. But I don't think that's like we're standing around clapping that and celebrating that. No, that's nothing to celebrate.
I think we should, because if that's
nothing to celebrate, that's not an accomplishment. That's actually easy to do.
To say that all women need to have children that can have children. You need to. You should.
I didn't. Once again, I've never used the word all or every. I want to make this clear, y'all. You've never heard Freddie B say all or every.
What are you saying about women?
What I'm saying is, if somebody does that, cool, fine. It does not need to be celebrated. That's not something that we should stand around and clap and say, good for her that she wants the easy way out to just live life. That's easy.
Way out. Come on.
That's easy, just to live for yourself and take care of yourself.
She has animals.
Would you agree? What's harder, taking care of you or taking care of you and 3 kids?
Well, I mean, that answer is pretty clear. I have a cat and I'm like, oh, Lord Jesus.
There you go. What Tiana said, she might not be selfish. It may be best for the kids if she doesn't have them. There are too many child abusers and child molesters out here having kids. So if you don't want them, maybe best for everyone. I mean, me personally, I think she needs some therapy. She needs to get some therapy. And the girl that tells me she don't want kids, I mean, I agree with what Tiana's saying.
Because she does. Okay, Freddie.
Find out what's going on. Find out what's going on. But so let me, because your mama, wait, your mama been asking me questions. Your mama need to cam up. Your mama need to cam up.
Does need to. I love my
your
dad.
Your mom need to cam up.
Dad, Freddie doesn't have any children. He doesn't.
Well, I can answer. I can answer. So Pops, I don't have any children. The closest I've been to children is I've been a tutor for many years. I've been a elementary school teacher, kindergarten teacher, the whole 9. I've disciplined a lot of children. My godson Trey, I was instrumental in his upbringing. And I
love this litany.
He's a great young man. I'm very I watch his IG stories. I be wanting to cry. He is a great, he is so different when he could be out here wild. He could sing. He's 6 foot. He 20. Trey just turned 21, I think. He could sing. He 6 foot, 6'1", 200 pounds. He played cornerback for Eastern Illinois. Great looking kid. I mean, I can look at him I know he could probably just run through chicks left and right, but that's not who he is. He's very sound and he got a little girlfriend and he be focused on and the whole 9. And then the stuff he posts like Bob Marley, some deep, more grown stuff. He don't be posting a whole bunch of goofy stuff and what you see a lot of kids post. I follow some other kids that are around his age that I know that it's some kid at TSU.
The average 21-year-old is probably going to be posting some ridiculous stuff.
Exactly. I've seen it. I probably follow a group of them, and the majority of them be posting like a bunch of stupid stuff. He don't be posting that. And so, great kid. So I don't have any children. Your mom asked, when am I getting married? I'm getting married. I mean, I'm getting married when I meet a woman that wants to meet me in intentionality. So I was engaged to a young lady. We dated. This was what broke up with her 2018, beginning of 2018, I believe. That's about 5 years ago.
Wow, it's 5 years ago now.
Yeah. Wow. And so she, I ended up having to break up with her because she was very controlling. She's slowly trying to cut me off from everybody I knew. She wouldn't be talking to nobody I knew, and it was huh?
Did she want to have children?
Yeah. She wanted to have the same amount I wanted to have too.
Okay.
So and then I met another young lady, dated her, and kind of to what I was saying, I met her, was very intentional, because we didn't live in the same city. So I was trying to make sure hey, look, I'm focused on you. I'm not gonna slack in the communication. We're gonna talk. I was trying to provide what she needed and the whole 9, let her know hey, I'm here. And even though, because she already had mentioned that she was worried about the distance. So did that whole deal. And
you can do long distance if you really want to.
No. So that's super tough. You need a lot of funds, and you need a lot of stuff.
I just meant within the country. I mean, yours wasn't in the country, so that's
different. Yeah. You need a lot of stuff to do that, and so and then she kind of pulled back on me a little bit, and I was like, why are you pulling back? I don't know. And so and then things kind of. Yes, I want children. Pops.
I want a Freddie interview session.
I want 4, give or take. 4, give or take. I know I need her to get started. I know I've heard it a lot of times before. I know.
Well, I mean, kind of. I want to address what Amanda said. I think it's more selfish. Wait, where'd it go? I think it's more selfish to have a child knowing you wouldn't give them the best guidance, love, and parenting in this already challenging world. Thank you, Amanda Panda. What's up, Ellen? Train.
So
yes. No. Freddie.
Go ahead.
This is absolutely true. You bring a child into the world knowing you don't want to. Maybe you're listening to this podcast, you hear it later, and you're like, oh, I heard Freddie, and he said I'm selfish if I don't want to have a baby. But Drea says, da 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 da. Oh, I have one. And then, I've seen it. I've seen parents. I am so lucky to not have had that experience and not feel like I felt wanted by my parents. And I've seen it where people do not feel that way. It's awful. You laugh, but it is no joke. It affects you your entire life. I can call my mom anytime, any second of the day. Hello, she's there. Not everybody freaking has that. Okay. And so to bring a child into the world and you don't want them and they know that and they feel that and you can't give them love and you're cold. No, you don't need to have a child. You don't need to have a child. Period.
I can't, obviously, yeah. But like I said, once again, how common is that? That's not common because.
What are you talking? Oh my God, Freddie, you think everybody that has a kid wants their child?
I didn't say. I've never used the word every and all. Once again, I've never used the word every and all. That's your word to use. You like grouping everybody together. Anyway. I've never said that. I said that's not common. There's not a wide swath of people having children like, God dang, I don't want this little bastard. Why are they here?
Well, you
no, it's not. Are there some people? Yes, there. I mean, we live in a big wide world. There are billions of people here. There is somebody that fits in every single. You can find somebody in this world that fits in every single box. You can do that. But the thing is we're talking about the general public and most people. What happens is most people, because there is nobody who has a child. One thing I can tell you is majority of people who have children, you ask them before they had a child, they were not ready. As the woman was pregnant, I'm not ready. No, I don't. I'm not ready for a child. So most people don't want a child. Most people don't want a child before it gets here. Once that baby gets here and it comes out and they hold it, anecdotally, every single person I know that got a child, their life changed. Their life changed.
Life is gonna change regardless. It better change.
I'm talking about like not your day-to-day life. That person inward. That person inside changed. I've seen violent people not be violent no more. I got an aunt. Before that, she was lit. She would pop off at any moment and get in your stuff. She had her first child. It's like all that just went out the window. Man, I was like, she still was her, but it was like that aggression and that pop off was gone. And I was like, wow. She was like, yeah, when I had my baby, I just realized so many different things. And you can literally look at interviews, people having their first child. You hear it all the time. When I first had my baby, things changed. You hear it a lot, men and women. Things changed, and I was different. I didn't want a child before. Absolutely. I think I was ready. When that child got here, things changed. So nobody is ever ready. Nobody knows they're gonna have it together. All those types of things. Sure. Nobody knows that. A lot of people don't think they're gonna have the best guidance, the love, the scared of the world, the whole nine. But people still have children, and people still figure it out. People still raise their children. I'm pretty sure you have conversations with your mother before you got here. It was I don't know, you got. And now look,
mom and dad were like, "Oh Lord," I was a bit of a surprise.
And look, 40 years later, they got a daughter who lives in LA on her own, owns a condo. She kind of, with relationships, she kind of angry at men, be like to fight men.
Me.
You know what I mean? But we working on her, mom and pop. We working on her. We getting her right. We getting her ready. We getting her. She gonna keep that lineage going on. She gonna help y'all out. You know what I mean?
Before we wrap up, I would just like to say, if you're watching this podcast, it's not about celebrating not wanting to have a child, but I think you should do whatever is in your heart, that what makes you happy. We are not here for a long time. We're not here for a long time, Freddie. So if you don't want to have a kid, don't have a kid. If you want to have a bunch of kids, have a bunch of kids. Do you?
Hey, look, you can do whatever you want, but just remember you do got one life to live, and regrets kill people. Regrets kill people.
Absolutely, Freddie. Regrets. We agree on
regrets kill people. Oh, and to what the old lady said, there's a lot of people. There's people in my nursing home that got a bunch of kids that's still alone. The thing is that
okay, what? You
are way more likely to die alone if you don't have anybody, as opposed to you had people and you die. You're way more likely because if you've never gotten married, you never have any kids, you're going to die alone. That's guaranteed. It's 100% gonna happen. But if you got married, you had children, the chances start to skew in your favor. Might still happen, but the chances get better too when you get in old life. You got people around you, people checking up on you, and that whole deal. So like my grandmother. My grandmother right now, her husband just died, but she still got her daughters. She still got her grandsons. I'm planning to go to Nashville to hang out with her in a couple of weeks. Even my dad's mother, like all the way up until the end, I would go to Connecticut and hang with her. But she never had children. I wouldn't exist. She would have been up there by herself.
Well,
Guaranteed.
you know what? And if she ended up by herself, then that was her cross to bear. Okay, but she didn't, and you're here.
I don't want that. I don't want my grandmother to be what?
But she didn't. She didn't, and you're here, and it's beautiful. And we're doing this podcast.
Her cross to bear. I don't want her to bear that cross.
Well, she didn't. And you're here. So there we go.
Because she had children, had a husband, she had all that.
And she did all that because that's what she wanted to do. But Miss Lady Natalie Bright doesn't want to, and you go ahead, Natalie. You do you. Thank you guys for watching.
She got to cross the bed like a mother Fletcher coming up.
Anyway, that's Freddie's
The
opinion.
cat's gonna be there though. Well, no, they're not. Cats dying like 11 years.
We appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching. We'll be back Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. I'm Lady Dre Renee, and this
share this, like, comment, share it, guys, and have your children. Have your children, guys.
Or
Bye.
don't.
Have your children.